This is the TTArtisan 56mm F1.8. It's an autofocus lens that comes in Sony E mount, Nikon Z mount, and Fujifilm X mount. Now I have it in the Fujifilm X mount, and it was sent out to me by TTArtisan to review. There was no money exchanged, they gave me the product, and they don't get to see this video before you guys do. Firstly, during this review, I did do quite a few images straight from camera using the great Fujifilm straight out of camera JPEGs, and I also did some that were post-processed just to show you a variety of things that this lens can actually achieve. For now, I've got it mounted on my Fujifilm X-E4, and this is how I have used it a lot of the time. And I've got to say straight off the bat, this is a fantastic little lens. Now, obviously at 56mm on an APS-C sensor, that is going to give you an 85mm equivalent, making it the perfect portraiture lens. It is going to feel very, very punched in. And at f1.8, you are going to get smooth, out of focus backgrounds, which is lovely. It can be a little bit tight for indoor shots, but again, that's not really what this kind of lens is made for. But with that f1.8 aperture, you're going to be able to use it in low light scenarios as well. Now, what's important to mention is this lens is 160 UK pounds. I don't know how. I genuinely, for the life of me, do not understand how they have achieved this, because this is an all metal construction. This, let me show you. You've got a crushed can lens hood actually included in that design. And it is such a smooth action on that crushed can lens hood. There's no weather sealing, which again, on a lens of this price, is absolutely understandable. But it's an autofocus prime lens at 56mm. It's brilliant. It's amazing, and the autofocus performance is really good. It's really smooth, it's really snappy, it locks on and stays on its subjects really, really well. The design maybe isn't the prettiest, but it is very, very small. It's by far the smallest 56mm I've got, and I've got 3 of them at the moment. It's tiny, it weighs next to nothing, and if I was going for a very portable kit, this would absolutely be in there. Now, it's got to be said, there's no buttons on the lens, there's no aperture dial, and as I previously mentioned, there's no weather sealing. So it is a very, very basic lens. But if you're looking for a first portraiture prime lens, maybe for a smaller body, like an X-E4, or maybe like XM5 or something like that, this is going to go a long bloody way. I could easily shoot event photography with this lens, no problems at all. Now, there are a couple of flaws that you've got to bear in mind. Again, no aperture ring. For a lot of Fuji shooters, that is going to be a deal breaker, and I understand it. There is a manual focus dial. It's nicely dampened. It's going to be a fly-by-wire design, so it's not going to be amazing, but it is nicely dampened. Now, when I take off the included crushed can lens hood, which again is really, really nice addition there, that's where you'll note one of the things that people will have an issue with on this lens. I don't in particular, but it is a 52mm filter thread, and that wouldn't be a problem. But when you're using a lens hood like this, if you want to have a filter or a lens cap, you just can't really do it with this lens hood on at the same time. You can by all means leave the filter on, but you're not going to be able to quickly remove it. And for me, that's not a problem, because I'm either shooting with a diffusion filter or I'm not shooting with a diffusion filter. That's it. Normally I will just leave one on my lens. However, I don't generally use lens caps. I haven't for years at this point. I just let my lens hood do all the work, and I always clean my lens before I'm shooting. I look after my gear, but I don't baby my gear. It's there to be used. But again, for some people, the difficulty of having to take this off to put your lens cap on before every time you use it, that could be a deal breaker for some people, and I do understand that. Not an issue for me though. Something that really surprised me with this lens is normally when you get a cheaper lens, and like I say, remember, in the case of this, we're sub £200. Normally, when you get a cheaper lens, you will find that it's not necessarily the sharpest wide open. So when I shot this at f1.8 and I got this image of one of my cats, you can be damn well sure I was pretty shocked at just how sharp that is, wide open at f1.8. So this is absolutely usable. There is a touch of vignetting, there is a touch of chromatic aberration, nothing unusable, certainly not like my old Viltrox F1.4 56mm, but for the most part this is a reasonably well corrected lens. Now it doesn't have any Lightroom profile, and that is something to bear in mind. If you're one of those that needs to correct vignetting and any kind of distortion on every single image, that may be a deal breaker for you. For me, it's not. I don't find this to be an offensive shooter at all. I don't find the images to be particularly distorted. And again, the small amount of vignetting you do get at f1.8, I don't mind it. If you're shooting with something like this, you're almost always shooting with your subject in the center of the frame anyway. So it's not been a problem for me. In terms of packaging, there's nothing fancy to mention, but I will say it does come with a rear lens cap that has a USB hub built in so that you can do lens updates via the lens, just putting that cap on. Overall though, I've got to say, I've absolutely been loving using this lens. It's so tiny, it's so small, it's so discreet, it's out of the way, it's lovely and stealthy, it produces a stellar, sharp image. There you go, there's a sample at f1.8 of what I'm looking at right now. And I'm just blown away that something like this now only costs us 160 UK pounds. That might still sound like a lot of money, but I assure you, once you start getting into portraiture glass, that is absolutely the lowest end of the spectrum you could be paying. And honestly, if they'd have said this is a 1.8 manual focus lens for 160 pounds, I would have believed it. I would have completely believed it, but the fact that this has autofocus as well, this is the most new shooter friendly lens I think I've actually ever come across. And when I started my photography journey, had I been able to pick up something like this, it would have saved me a hell of a lot of money down the line, because realistically, as you get more and more into your shooting, you'll realize f1.8 in the majority of situations is more than enough. As you stop it down, it does get sharper, it sharpens up in the corners, and it does negate some of that vignetting as well. Again, it can be ever so slightly soft in the corners, but in the middle, I'm surprised at just how sharp this lens is. Shooting at around f2.8 to 3.6, this thing is razor sharp, and it is completely corrected for in terms of vignetting. But so far, I've got to say, I'm absolutely blown away with this. I think the build quality is incredible, the size is incredible, and the price is absolutely phenomenal. And it's hard to believe that you can get a lens that is this light, this performant for this kind of cost. Well done, TTArtisan. I've got nothing else to say. Keep doing this. Now, if you're new here, this is not my first TTArtisan review. I previously reviewed their 27mm pancake lens. I'll pop that up here or here somewhere. And if you enjoy this kind of content, let me know down in the comments. Throwing a like and a comment really helps the algorithm, really helps support a channel like mine. And if you're feeling overly generous, throw me a subscribe, and I'll see you for more Fuji content coming soon. See you in the next video. Peace.